Can I retire at 60 with $700,000 in retirement investments and retirement savings? That's what we're going to look at today on the Your Financial EKG YouTube channel. And this is going to be a two-part series. The first part today, we're going to do a simplified retirement income strategy based off a 60-year-old with $700,000 in retirement investments. And next week, we're going to do a deep dive into the same question, can I retire at 60 with $700,000 in retirement and savings? But we're going to look at it in multiple different scenarios, wondering, can I retire? So make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on both videos. So let's look at this right now. Can I retire at 60 with $700,000 in retirement investments? So I've got a 60-year-old. He's got $700,000 in retirement savings and retirement investments. His Social Security at 70 is $3,300. Now, what I didn't tell you was that this gentleman's name is Mike, and he's single. So he's going to retire at 60, and he wants to take Social Security at 70. Now, because he is single, he wants to maximize his Social Security check. He's looking at it like a pension. Because he's single, there's no other income coming in from a spouse. There's no other retirement assets coming from someone else's 401k. There's some inheritance that might come in the future, but his retirement is all on him as a single individual. So he's looking at Social Security saying, how can I turn this in to the largest pension that I can get? Do I have enough retirement investments to get me from 60 to 70 without depleting all of my retirement savings? So he would like to take Social Security at 70. That would be $3,300 per month. His retirement income need is only $3,400. So he's got to need $3,400 a month off of his retirement investments between the age 60 and age 70. Now, obviously, this $3,300 is going to have some COLA increases on it between 60 and 70. And this number right here, his retirement income need, that $3,400 in expenses, that's going to have inflation on it of 3.24%. Now, that's the 108-year average for inflation. That's what I use here at Your Financial EKG. We're always going to use the nominal inflation figure. Now, his concerns, can I retire? Do I have enough assets to retire at 60, or do I need to work a few more years before I get into retirement? His second concern is, like many of you, it's inflation. What is inflation going to do to his retirement savings and retirement investments? If he starts taking $3,400 a month off of his retirement savings, is that going to keep up with inflation? And his last concern is sequence of returns. Now, you may not have ever heard of sequence of return risk. Let me explain that for you real quick. Sequence of return risk is the risk that you go into retirement and the stock market has bad years right away. Meaning you might retire and the market might fall 10%, then it might fall 12%, then it might fall 5% in the third year, and you've got this first 3 years of retirement where your investments have basically just gone down because the market's gone down. Think about the year 2000. If you retired in 2000, you had 3 years of a bad market. So it wasn't until 2004 before the market started to come back up. And then we all know what happened in 2008. So for this gentleman, sequence of return risk is a very important risk for him to think about. It's a big concern for him. Again, single guy, Social Security and his retirement investments, he's concerned about the market. Now, on the next video, we're going to do a deeper dive into sequence of returns, and I'm going to show you how you can, based off of past historical decades, we can get more confidence in our retirement analysis. So let's go to a simple, can I retire? I'm 60 with $700,000 in retirement investments. All right, so we're looking at a 60-year-old with $700,000 in retirement investments, asking the question, can I retire? What about inflation? And what about sequence of return risk? And that's really what I want to look at today, sequence of return risk. Now remember, sequence of return risk is the risk that the market is going to go down or have bad years at the beginning of your retirement, meaning you're going to start with lower money because the retirement assets invested in the market have gone down, okay? So let's look at two scenarios. Let's look at a 6% rate of return for the next 20 years from 60 to 80, and then let's look at a 4% return between 60 and 80. Now remember, this is a simplified retirement income strategy, so I'm putting it on the board. The next video, make sure you subscribe, is going to be a more detailed sequence of return risk, looking at past decades to determine, can I retire? What about inflation? And what about sequence of return risk? What if the market goes down? Okay, so the first, 6%. So he's got $709,000 in retirement investments. His retirement income need is $3,400 per month. Now we're going to do a 6% rate of return, meaning the money that's in the market, his retirement investments are going to earn 6% a year, okay? And inflation is going to be at 3% a year. So 6% on the investments, 3% on inflation. The 3% is going to go on his retirement income. After 10 years, his $709,000 will grow to $732,762. So he's grown about what? 20-something thousand dollars, all right? Now at 70, he's going to have $732,000. Now his retirement income has 3% inflation on it. So it's grown from $3,400 a month up to $4,569. Now, but something has happened at 70 for this gentleman. He's turned on Social Security. Now, if you remember, his Social Security is $3,300 a month at 70. So we're going to plug that in, $3,300. So his retirement income need is $4,569. His Social Security is $3,300, which means off of his investments, he's going to need $1,269 per month. Now, I know some of you are going to leave comments and say, hey, Drew, you didn't put any COLA increases on Social Security. I know I didn't do it. I'm just base planning here, all right? Now, in the software, you're going to see all the COLA increases, everything that your heart desires when it comes to financial planning. But this is the board. And we're just trying to get a good idea of, can I retire? That's really all we're trying to figure out, because if we can't do it on the board, it doesn't matter how fancy our software is. We need to make sure that the math works. Math never lies, okay? Now, if you want me to do a can I retire scenario for you to see if you can retire now or later, listen, in the comment section, there's a booklet called The Roadmap to Retirement. It's a free link. Click on it, download the booklet, make sure that you read that, understand retirement income, and also select the box, yes, that I want to meet with Drew, and we can do a can I retire scenario tactically built just for you. So between 70 and 80, remember, we have a 6% rate of return and we have a 3% inflation rate on his retirement investments. $732,000 now grows to $1,125,221. So he started with $709 at 60, and over 20 years earning 6% rate of return, he's grown to $1,125,000. Okay, so that's 6%. Let's look at 4%, just 2% behind 6%. So we've got the same numbers. We're starting at $709,000, but now instead of a 6% rate of return, we're going to put a 4% rate of return on the money that's invested. So that means his investments, we have them at TD Ameritrade, that's who we use as our custodian, they're going to earn 4% a year. So low single-digit returns for his retirement investments, all right? 3% still are inflation. So from 60 to 70, taking $3,400 a month off of his investments, his $709,000 drops to $556,351. It's a $150,000 difference between 6%. Actually, it's almost a $200,000 difference in the 10-year span. But when you look at the numbers, a 2% decrease in his retirement investments rate of return is huge. Now, at 70, remember, we're going to kick on Social Security of $3,300. $4,569 is his retirement income need now. It's the same as it was at 6%, 3% inflation on his original value. But look at this. His $556 over 10 years grows to $642,000. So we made it to 70, earning 4% a year. Now we've turned on Social Security, and our assets are growing again because we've delayed Social Security for so long. So compare the numbers, 642 to 1.1 million. That's a huge difference in just 4 and 6%. So if we're doing this on the board, can I retire at 60 with $700,000 in retirement investments or retirement savings? I would say yes, but because on the board there's such a big difference between these two figures, we need to do a deeper dive, and that's going to be on the next video. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye-bye. Can I retire at 60 with $700,000 in retirement investments and retirement assets? Part 2. Now, if you weren't with us for part 1 of this video, make sure you click the link below. What we're going to look at today is a 60-year-old individual. He's got $700,000 in retirement investments, and he's asking the question, can I retire? Hey, let me interrupt this very important video to encourage you to enroll in the new course, Can I Retire?, presented by Your Financial EKG. This course is absolutely free and helps you to determine if you are ready to retire. All the information is below. See you in the classroom. All right, let's jump into the software right now to see how long this 60-year-old's retirement investments are going to last. Now, as you can see here, he's 60 years old, all right, and he wants to retire in July of 2022. Now, when I'm recording this video, it's actually June, so we've got about 1 month before he retires. His current salary is $5,525 a month, and he is single and living in the state of New York. So taxes are a big deal. We're not going to necessarily address that in this video, but taxes are a big deal to his retirement. Now remember, his Social Security at 70 is going to be $3,300 a month. We want to delay Social Security from 60 to 70 to get the biggest bang for the buck. Now remember, if he were to take Social Security at 62, he's only going to get 70% of his full retirement benefit. If he waits till his full retirement, which is 67, he would get 100% of his full retirement benefit. And if he waits till 70, which is what we're doing right now, he's going to get 124% of his full retirement benefit. So as a single individual, it makes sense for him to look at waiting as long as possible to basically create the largest pension he can, because that's going to help him later in life with his retirement income. Now there's no pension, so that's blank there. Now from an asset standpoint, here's what we've got. Let me just scroll to the bottom. We've got $709,446 in retirement investments and retirement savings. Now, for this scenario, this is going to be the 6% scenario, which is the 6% rate of return. Remember, sequence of returns is his biggest concern in retirement. So his portfolio is going to have a weighted average of 5.79%. Now, the reason it's less than 6 is because he's got $25,000 in savings. If you have a bank account that's earning 6%, let me know. But in this case, his bank account is earning 0.0000 nothing, which is why his weight of return is below 6%. Now, the money that's in the market is going to continue to earn 6%. Now, his monthly expenses, $3,334 per month. Now, inflation is going to be 3.24%. Now, the difference with the software and the board, I'm looking at inflation on a decade basis, okay? The software is going to look at inflation on a monthly basis. So this 3,334 figure is going to get an inflation bump every month, okay? So we're actually going to get a better picture of can I retire. Remember, the board is the base. The board gives us the idea, can we move to the next step? So if the board says, yes, you can, then we go into the software to get really detailed. So from a tax standpoint, we already talked a little bit about this. His projected federal tax rate is very low because he's going into retirement, but his projected state tax rate at 6% is actually higher than his federal tax rate, which is why I've talked to Mike about getting out of New York. Now, from a retirement standpoint, this is where the rubber meets the road. So when he retires, based on current environments and contributions and all that, he's going to have approximately $741,000 in retirement investments. A little bit of growth from the 709. And if you scroll down through here, basically at 100, he's going to have $307,000 left in retirement investments. Now, this is earning 6% just every year. Portfolio weighted average 6% every year. But remember, he is concerned about sequence of return risk. So if we just put 6% in every year, that doesn't give us a good idea of sequence of returns because it's just boom, 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 6%, right? So let's look at sequence of returns. So we'll go to market. Now, what I like about the software is we can go back into history and look at basically back to when the S&P 500 was founded. And we can look at, okay, let's take that decade and put it on our retirement investments and see how long our money's going to last. Now, history doesn't always repeat, but it does rhyme. So what I like to do is, first of all, I want to look at the worst decade or the lost decade, which was the year 2000 to 2010, and I want to compare the two. I want to compare the geometric return, the 6%, and I want to compare what a sequence of return would look like. So over here, we've got our rate of return of that 5.79, which is the 6% every year. And over here, remember, we have the year 2000 to 2010. And so the year 2000, the market was down 10%. 2001, it was down 13%. In 2002, it was down 23%. So if you're keeping along, it wasn't up 6%, it was down actually. So if you look at his investments, compare the two. So in year one, he would have $742,000. Based on what the market did in the year 2000, that's a difference of a negative $44,000. For year two, his investments would have grown from 742 to 745, making 6% a year. But if you compare that to 2001, he's down 13% on his market investments, which means the difference is $142,000. Do you understand what I'm saying? Okay, good. So let's look at this. How long is his money going to last? Well, now, if we take the year 2000 to 2010, he's out of money at 86. Whereas if we're just doing a 6% geometric rate of return, he never runs out of money. But if it's a 2000 to 2010 decade, he's out at 86. So that's the risk you have to look at. What happens if the market has multiple bad years right out of the gate? Okay? So let's look at a different decade. What decade do you want to look at? 1990. Okay, we'll look at 1990. So if we go to 1990, the roaring 1990s, basically at 100, he's got $14 million. So I hope we have a 1990 to 2000 decade. I would say that's probably a really good decade to say, man, that may be the best. And 2000 to 2010 might be the worst. We really want to find somewhere in the middle, which is why I only use a 6% rate of return when I'm doing a market analysis for a client. We've got to find some middle ground. So let's go back and let's look at that 4% in the software that we did on the board. Remember, we did two rates of return in the last video. We did 6% rate of return and we did a 4% rate of return. And there was about a $600,000 difference at 80 between the 4% rate of return and the 6% rate of return on his retirement investments. So let's go back to the 4%. Now, while I'm getting there, if you want me to do something like this for you, to put your retirement income into this software to see if you're going to run out of money, go to my website, Your Financial EKG. It's actually in the comment section below. There's a free booklet called The Roadmap to Retirement. Download that. It talks about different types of retirement income. It's a free booklet, but that's the way you get in touch with me. You'll select the box that says, yes, I want to visit with Drew, and we can get together and we can do a board first, say, hey, can we retire? And then we'll do the software second to do a complete Your Financial EKG on your retirement investment. So let's look at a 4% rate of return. So all else being equal, okay, everything else is equal, all the stuff before, but now we're looking at 4%. Well, if you look at 4%, we have this red line that shows up, and that is a nasty red line we don't want to see. So earning 4% a year, Mike, at age 90, is out of money. So amount needed today to avoid a shortfall, we need $250,000 on top of his $700,000 to never run out of money, earning 4%. Now, his rate of return needed to avoid a shortfall is only 5.62%. Now, the confidence that I can tell Mike is, hey, we're running this at 4%. All that you have to earn over the next 30 years is an extra 1.6% on your investments, and you never run out. So he doesn't have to change his investments from being conservative to overly aggressive to try to earn some high rate of return to never run out of money. He just needs to adjust his investments a little bit to try to earn 1.6% more, right? Because a lot of times in our minds we think, oh my gosh, I've got to earn 8, 9, 10% retirement. I'm going to run out of money. No, a lot of times It's just 5.62. So you don't have to change your investments all that much. You just need to change how you're allocated slightly so that you don't run out of money. So again, let's look at the market. Let's do the comparison here. We'll go to historical rates. We're looking at 2000 again. And at the year 2000, now we're out at 82 instead of where we were before. And if we go to the 1990s, where are we at in 1990 here? 1990, boom. We're not running out of money at all. We're doing really, really well. And so for Mike, the biggest thing for him when it comes to sequence of return risk, this is what I tell all my clients. We've really got to be on top of this as we go into retirement. And you know what I told him was, I know you're retiring from your main job, but are there other things that you can do to maybe bring in a little extra income so you're not pulling as much retirement income off of your investments? That's something we want to look at. So I hope this has helped you in deciding, can I retire at 60 with $700,000? Hopefully you have a great rest of your day. God bless. Bye-bye.